Hey, welcome back. In this session, we'll discuss our first module, Language Construct, and Chapter 5. Okay, so in this chapter, we'll understand the advanced feature of C Sharp to deconstruct with a class. So in previous video, we discussed like deconstruct with tuples, and in this video, we focus on how we can use the tuple with the class. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our next chapter, chapter 5, Deconstruct Custom. So as a part of this video, what I did, I created a person.cs class. You can see here. In this class, I created few variable is properties are like first name, middle name, last name, city, and state. Okay, and this is the constructor. So in this constructor, we are basically passing these parameter and return all these values here. Okay, so as a part of this video, to understand more, what I did, I created a method is a deconstruct. So what this method will do basically, when we say deconstruct, out that word we can use here, you can see. So out means that's the output, it work, it behave like an output parameter. Okay, so when we say out string f name, out string last name, right? So you can say f name, and then we can assign whatever values are there, first name and last name, and these two value we are returning from this method. Okay, so that's why we use this out parameter. Okay, but here we are returning two values here, you can say f name and l name. But I just created one more method here. Okay, and here the name is same. Okay, but now we are returning here the four parameter like f name, l name, city, and state. So these are four parameter what we are returning it here. Okay, now we are jump into the program.cs file, and here I what I did, I just created a one variable p, and that hold the person class what I just created here. Okay, so what happened as a part of this constructor, right? We are passing five parameter, you can see here. So I'm passing five parameter like John, you can see Adam, Boston, and Ma. Okay, so these are the five parameter we are returning here, and now this variable basically hold all these five values here. Okay, now how we can use a deconstruction, okay, and return the value. So you can see here, when you say this variable p is there, right, they contain all this value, and I said I want to return only the two values, f name and l name. So when I mention here like this way, so what happened, this will going and call here this deconstruct method. Okay, and in this deconstruct method we can say f name and l name. So f name, the first name will return, and l name, you can see the last name returning here. Okay, so now I'm jump here and right click terminal, and let's see what will be the output here. Okay, so now you can see here, when I'm trying to console it here, we say hello John Adam, because John is the first name and Adam is the last name. Okay, so that's what we can get here. Okay, we can understand with one more example where I'm trying to return all these values, right? First name, last name, like city and state and all. So when I call this variable and we are returning again the multiple values from this one, so I call this object, this class object here. Okay, this is a person class object, and here you can see is this deconstruct method is responsible to return all these four. So always remember, whenever we say deconstruct or something is there, right, so you can count this parameter actually. So one, two, three, four. When we say four parameter here, we need to return the four parameter here, the four values here. Okay, and we try to console it here, and it will work as expected. Oops, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. Because this F name and L name we are using one more time. That's why the issue is here. So I'm going to comment out these one, and let's try to run one more time. So now you can see here we can get hello John Adam of Boston MA. Okay, so now you can see response here. But what if I remove, because here in this deconstruct we are returning four parameter here, two parameter, but we don't have any deconstruct method which return three parameter, right? So for example, if I remove one parameter here, so now we are getting only three values, right? Is there any method, deconstruct method is there where we are returning three? No, right? What will happen? Let's see here. Okay, so we'll get exception here because we don't have any deconstruct method with who return three variables, right? So that is the issue. Okay, so make sure whenever we have a deconstruct method here, make sure we are using, if you don't want use here, just use underscore. if you don't if you don't want to ignore this method and all, so just use like this way. Okay, so this is the way how you can do it. Cool. So this is the one. Okay, now what happened when I'm trying to create one more method? You can see here, deconstruct with two parameter one more time. Now you can see the difference here. What happened? We already have one deconstruct method with number of parameter like first name, last name. Now again, I'm trying to use this one, but this time I'm trying to return, for example, city. Okay, so I said we are using city. Okay, and I say city. Here we are returning first name and city. Here I'm returning first name and last name. Let's see what will happen when we build this one. We'll get some exception. Okay, cool. We'll get some exception because whenever we are creating deconstruct method with the same parameter, they don't bother about what value you are returning. They bother about this method understand, okay, you're returning a string, you are returning a string. Okay, so number of parameter, he's talking about the number of parameter. Okay, what you are returning in that parameter, that doesn't matter. And you can see here already define a member called deconstruct with the same parameter type, right? So this type matter for this, so you'll get exception. So whenever you are doing and playing with deconstruct or all, make sure don't use the same number of parameter or same type of parameter again and again, otherwise you will get this kind of exception. Okay, so this is pretty much about how we can use or deconstruct with, and you can sort of play with tuples with the class and all. Okay, so see you next video. Until then, embrace the joy of learning.